Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're looking at some more of this Final Faction stuff, and this is going to be part 9 of my series of videos on this toy line. And the ones we're talking about today are the latest wave of accessory sets. I believe they're called weapons packs for the most part, but they're not always just weapons. They actually have other aspects included with these. So it's pretty interesting. And so the ones we're going to look at today, there are two of these that are designed for the character known as Ruck. So I actually bought an extra Ruck so I can actually show you these two side by side on the same figure. And this one is called Assault. And you can see there's like kind of like wheeled things that go on his feet. And also looks like a rocket launcher. Some really cool looking stuff. And on the back of the package, you can see a breakdown of all the stuff that's included here. And they also have a diagram of how it fits on the figure. So that's very cool. And the next one for Ruck is called Rampage. And this one basically turns the character into a full-on mech. So I think this looks really cool. Really can't wait to get this out of the package. And we will be doing that later on in the video. I'm going to take all these out and put them on the figures so you can see what that looks like. Here you can see the write-up on the various items included with this set. So that looks really cool. Next up, we got Blades, which is for the character known as Shift. She's sort of like a martial artist, and these are pretty interesting. They're actually quite large in size in terms of the part where the character holds it. So I have a feeling these might actually be compatible with somewhat larger action figures as well. So that's kind of a cool thing. On the back here, you can see a write-up on each of these items and how they attach to the figure. And then next up, we got Cyborg. This is for the character known as Steadfast. As some of you know who've seen my review of Steadfast, he is sort of the leader of the group, and he also has like a cybernetic arm. And so you can see this adds more cybernetic parts to Steadfast. They have a diagram here on the back that shows how it attaches to the figure, and also a write-up on each of the items included. Next up, we got Dragonfly, and this is for steel. So this is very large. I'm actually kind of surprised that they sold this for $1.25 because this one is quite a bit larger than the others. And I think it looks really cool. Very much reminds me of sort of like the Micronauts toy line from the late 1970s. So that's very cool. And on the back, it shows you how it attaches to the figure, and also a write-up on everything that's included here. And then last but not least, we have the ACRM Razor. This is another pack for the ACRM. They already produced one accessory pack specifically for the ACRM. So this is another entirely different one. So that's very cool. And it does take advantage of the various ports that are present on that figure. And again, they give you a write-up on each of these things. And down here, there is the Collect Them All feature, which shows you everything that was in the last wave that I covered in the previous video, and then everything that's covered here. So there are 6 items altogether. And so I think they look fantastic, and I'm anxious to get these out of the package, get them on the figures, and take a look at what that looks like. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we got all the stuff out of the package now, and I want to go through each of these one by one. So we'll start over here with the Assault set for Ruck. And I think this looks really cool. It does transform the look of the character. You can see that sort of rocket launcher attaches up here, so that looks really cool. And also, you can actually still retain some of the original accessories that came with him. Like this piece here, I just flipped it over to the other side, and his backpack, he can still wear it while having all this other stuff on him as well. So that's kind of cool. And these little things on his feet are pretty interesting. Sort of they work like gears, so you can see those little wheels kind of turn around and interlocked with each other. One other thing I want to mention is this is in 2 parts. So this rotates on his arm, but also rotates here. So that's kind of interesting. And also this rocket is actually removable from this launcher. So you can see how that works together. So all in all, I think this is one of the more interesting sets. And you can actually take some of the pieces off of this and add onto the Rampage set, which is the next one I want to talk about. And this one really does fully transform the look of the character. So pretty much most of the character is actually hidden underneath all this armor. You can see the back of the figure still here, but the rest of it pretty much disguises him. So these 2 little pieces attach to the top of the figure and actually have some rotation movement too. So So yeah, you can reposition those in various positions. And there's also these little claws that sort of attach to the ends of this armor piece. And you can see he's holding a handle of that in his hand, so that's kind of interesting. Also, there's another claw thing that will actually attach here too. So this one is somewhat different, but he actually has the counterpart that's similar to the other side. So you can just swap that out and attach that in there. So just like this, and there you go. Then he has like the identical hands on either side. So I think that looks really cool. And one other thing I want to mention is if you take this backpack off, you can actually flip this part up and reveal the character underneath. So you can see that whole thing kind of like works on a hinge. It locks into the two little pivot positions on his back. So you can have that sort of like reveal the character underneath. So that's kind of nice. Also, as I mentioned, some of the pieces from the assault set can be used in combination with this piece. And also, I want to show you that there's parts from the P131 Thunderbolt that can be used on this as well. So let's add those parts on. Okay, so now I've added on the various parts from not only the assault set, which you can see these little Gatling guns on either side of his arms, but also also the rocket launcher down here, and then also the various parts from the P131 Thunderbolt. You can see these sort of flying wing parts and also these rocket launchers. So yeah, you can really fully arm this particular figure up with all kinds of extra attachments and make it look pretty menacing. So it gets pretty heavy too, which is pretty interesting. So the only thing I would say about adding all this stuff on, it does make it a little top heavy. So just keep that in mind that you may need to sort of like provide some support for it if you go fully loaded in terms of the look of this character. But I think that's very cool. I like the fact that they had included all those extra attachment points so that you can really do some customizing with these. So next up, we have this accessory set for Shift. And as you can see, all the accessories that she comes with will fit on her backpack. So that's kind of cool. They're kind of all jumbled in there together, but they do all fit, and each of them can be removed, and then each will fit into her hand as well. So later on in the video, I want to show you how these weapons are also probably compatible with larger size action figures, just because the size of the handles on these are actually quite large. You may be able to use them for other action figure lines. So I'll show you that later on in the video. But for now, I just want to cover how this actually works with Shift. You can see this part has two sections that are held together with a chain, and that fits in her hand just fine too. And then there's two other parts. This part here just sort of pegs in there like that. And then this one is almost like a throwing star, and that one also pegs in there too. So this little attachment piece on her back actually allows her to stow away all these weapons when she's not using them. And I do like the look of these. I think it's very cool, just in terms of being sort of unique bladed weapons. So that's quite nice. And then next up, I want to talk about this cyborg set that's for Steadfast. And overall, there's not too much in terms of the articulation of this. It pretty much just attaches on various parts to change the look of the character. But this arm piece does have several different attachment points that go onto the end of it. So let me show you what those are like. So you can see this one's kind of like a claw. And then you can just remove that. Just have to pop it out of there. And then there's a couple other attachments. So this one almost looks like a double-barreled sort of like Gatling gun kind of thing or something. So that's kind of cool looking. And then there's a third one right here. And so this one attaches in the same way. So each of these rotates and gives you some different attachment points that you can add on to change the look of the character. So that's kind of cool. Just in terms of being able to do a couple different options with Steadfast and change the look of this accessory set. So overall, I think it looks really cool and very kind of interesting in terms of sort of enhancing his cyborg look. And then next, we have this dragonfly set. And I gotta say, this is the one that's the most temperamental because the parts seem to fall off of it an awful lot. I think they may have sort of over-engineered it. As you can see, there's lots of little parts to this. So this is one I definitely don't recommend giving to a kid unless you actually maybe glue certain parts of it together, because these little missiles just fall off all the time. And this whole mechanism is held together very loosely, so it does have a tendency to just sort of fall apart completely. So just a word of caution on this particular set. Although I think it looks very cool, in terms of the way it's designed and put together, it's actually quite fragile. So just sort of keep that in mind. This thing is articulated though in the back. This sort of gun on the back that is articulated, so you can see it bends back and forth like that, and also pivots. And the wings are articulated as well, but again, they are very fragile in terms of the way they're constructed. The plastic seems durable enough, but yeah, it's just sort of prone to sort of falling off. So just sort of keep that in mind. I do like the overall look, and it does change the look of the character quite a bit. Definitely like this armor piece on the front, and also the design of that helmet. Those two pieces actually fit on there quite nicely. So the only major disappointment on this is the assembly of that wing mechanism. So yeah, a little disappointing because I was very excited about that piece initially when I saw it in the package, but once you get it out of the package, you realize how very fragile it is. And then last but not least, I want to talk about the ACRM Razor. And this one is really fantastic. It really does add extra features to this particular figure. And you can also retain some of the other pieces from the original accessory set, like these little leg boosters and also the backpack. Those can all stay in place, so you don't have to necessarily remove those in order to add in the parts from the Razor. And he does come with like a removable handheld weapon too, so that's very cool. That just fits in his hand, so that's excellent. And yeah, I just think everything fits on here nice and firmly, and really no complaints. It really does make the character look fantastic. So very excited about that one. So overall, these accessory sets are kind of hit and miss. Some of them are really fantastic, and then others are sort of like, they could have done a better job with them. But overall, in terms of what you're paying, again, those are only $1.25 each, and they do definitely change the look and enhance the characters quite a bit. So one other thing I want to mention is regarding these blade accessories that come for Shift. These actually will work with other kinds of action figures. So I want to show you that real quickly. Because of the size of the handles on these, they will actually work with G.I. Joe classified figures. So let me show you one of those real quickly. So here we have my G.I. Joe classified Snake Eyes. And as you can see, he can hold these bladed weapons. They're a little bit of a tight fit in his hands, but as you can see, they don't look completely incompatible with a much larger action figure. This one is actually 6 inches tall, and again, those weapons do fit in his hands and could be used as extra accessories for various figures, either G.I. Joe Classified or perhaps Marvel Legends as well. Also, I want to show you one other figure that actually works with these weapons as well. So here we have my Mego Storm Shadow. And as you can see, his hands are in proportion enough to hold these weapons as well. So that's pretty cool. So if you want to have a few extra weapons, bladed weapons for any of these sort of ninja type characters, either from the classified line or from Mego, these weapons will work with these characters. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. So just, you know, if you're looking to accessorize some of your other action figures, yeah, that blade set does have some compatibility with other action figure lines. So that's kind of cool. That's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos about the Final Faction, I'll put a link in the description to my playlist, which contains all the videos that I've done so far about various aspects of this toy line, including figures, accessory sets, and vehicles. So click the link in the description if you want to see all those videos in one place. Until next time, I hope you're having a great day, and thanks for watching.